Cincinnati, Ohio, 1998. 48-year-old jewelry dealer Michael Neman is shot dead in his own bed. He is also robbed of more than $350,000 in cash, jewelry, and illicit drugs. Within days, his 27-year-old stripper girlfriend, Melissa Vanover, is caught with the loot and a new teenage boyfriend, Kevin Green. Melissa confesses to the murder, but says it's not what it seems. She claims she killed Neman in self-defense and did not rob him. She's found guilty of aggravated murder and sentenced to 25 years to life here at the Ohio Reformatory for Women in Marysville. For 14 years, Melissa maintains she's no cold-blooded killer, but a casualty of violence. I've met many victims of spousal abuse. I know an abused woman when I see one. I'm Candace DeLong. As an FBI agent, I worked on the front line for the world's most powerful law enforcement agency. I went undercover, I trailed terrorists, and I interviewed notorious killers. It's my job to understand the people who others cannot comprehend. Melissa Vanover's story plays out like a soap opera. A rich businessman sees the sexy heroine making ends meet in a strip joint. He takes her away from it all, sets her up in his home, lavishes her with gifts. Then, within a year, he winds up with 3 bullets in his body and his safe cleaned out. Along the way, there's allegations of brutality, drug running, and hitmen. Where did this all start for Melissa Vanover? What kind of dreams did you have as a little girl about what your life would be like as a woman? What kind of prince you would have in your life?
Well, I mean, of course, everyone wants someone that's going to love them and provide for them and, you know, and treat them right.
According to Melissa, her first husband was a prince at first.
I was 18, and I met him.
Tell me about him.
Okay. Well, he was very charming. He was a very charming guy.
And how did that relationship go?
It was wonderful, really it was, in the first year. And then he became very abusive, and it was pure hell. Pure hell, it really was. At one point, he had locked me in the bathroom and reversed the doorknob so I couldn't get out. He didn't want me going anywhere. I wasn't allowed to go around my family. He just wanted to keep me just locked away.
Melissa says that despite the difficulties, she stays with her first husband for 9 years. They have 3 children. Then, at 27, she walks out with the kids and starts a new life.
First, I worked at a restaurant. I wasn't making enough money, so I did become a dancer.
Exotic dancer?
Yes, I did.
AKA stripper?
Yes. The club that I worked in, I mean, I know people hear a lot of bad things about the strip clubs. I really didn't see anything wrong with it. I mean, yeah, we took our clothes off.
I take it you made a lot of money.
I did make a lot of money because I had kids that I had to support.
Melissa earns enough to clothe her kids, put food on the table, and buy her own home. All thanks to the men who come to watch her. One of those men is 48-year-old jewelry salesman Michael Neman. He pays Melissa lots of attention.
He was a very good-looking guy, very charming, and he was watching me, he liked me, and he would come see me at the club all the time for probably about 6 months. And then finally, I agreed to go out to dinner with him. He spoiled me right away. You could tell that he was a very rich man.
What did his wealth do for you?
It didn't do anything for me at first, you know, because, I mean, he spoiled me with things. Yeah, he brought me jewelry all the time, would take me out to eat all the time, buy me things.
Within a few months, Melissa learns there is more to her new man's wealth than jewelry. Michael Neman is also a known drug dealer. He keeps cash and guns around the house, and he always seems to be looking over his shoulder.
He was a very intimidating guy. He always carried a gun. And when I was out with him, when I was out of town, he always made me carry a gun. Because I wore a lot of jewelry, and we had a lot of money with us all the time.
Did you know he was a criminal?
Not at first. Not at first, I did not.
But none of this seems to dampen the relationship. In fact, soon Michael is asking Melissa to move in with him. That's when the trouble starts. There were 48 bullet holes in your house,
Where
in the
he would
walls,
shoot at
where
me.
he would shoot at you?
Yeah.
Cincinnati, Ohio, 1998. After 5 months of dating, successful businessman Michael Neman asks stripper Melissa Vanover to move in. It comes with an unusual condition.
He wanted me to give everything away. I literally gave my whole house and everything in it to my live-in nanny.
Why did you do that?
He told me that I didn't have to work. Well, you don't have to work. I'll give you whatever you want. You know, so he basically had me quit my job.
Did he not want you taking your clothes off around other men? Could that have been it?
I mean, I'm sure he probably didn't like that.
I cannot know what Michael was thinking, but I've seen this type of behavior with controlling men. They believe if a woman depends on them for everything, they're less likely to leave. Many women would never put themselves in this position. Melissa did. If he wanted you to, I'm gonna be your mother here, jump off a cliff? I mean, what was it in you that made you so accommodating?
Because he wanted me to move in with him.
Okay.
He wanted me to move in with him. So,
You have children. What did he think of that?
at first he didn't act like he had a problem with it. Okay, let me clarify that. My kids are biracial.
Okay.
And him being Italian, he didn't like that. He didn't let me know that at first.
Melissa moves in with her kids. The party does not last long.
He had guns all over the house. What happened was my son picked up a gun and it freaked me out and I about had a nervous breakdown.
Don't touch those.
So I said, I just couldn't do it. So he was like, well, you're having a nervous breakdown. You can't control them.
Melissa now has to choose between living with Michael or her children. She chooses Michael and gives her ex-husband custody.
What the hell you been doing all day?
But instead of making things better, Melissa says things get worse.
His whole demeanor changed.
How?
When he was abusive.
He
one
would be
time
abusive to...
towards me. He was,
What would he do?
he hit me all the time. He'd shoot off the gun. There was 48 bullet holes in the walls of the house.
48.
48.
There were 48 bullet holes in your house where he would shoot at you?
Yeah.
To scare you?
Yeah. He shot off the gun and shot it right over my head into the wall. And then circled it, Missy up 6:53 in the morning.
Anything else he would do physically?
He had, you know, punched me, hit me, slapped me.
So, you're now living with a monster, it sounds like. Melissa's stories of abuse seem truthful to me. With the children out of the house, Michael may have felt open to attack their mother without consequences.
I've got to go.
But what she says next seals it for me.
And then after he would, you know, bust my lip or, you know, shoot at me the next day or something, he would always take me shopping or give me a diamond ring or...
So he would be contrite. I would try to make up for it. Assault, make up. Assault, make up again. It's a common cycle in abusive relationships, and it can keep couples together for years. Did you ever fear for your life? This guy's shooting?
I did. He owned 200 acres in Arizona, which we went there all the time. And he said, you know, I could kill you, bury you, and no one would know that you're out here.
Why didn't you leave him?
I did try to leave him one time. And I was at my friend's house, and he came there looking for me, and he was trying to open the door, and we had it locked, and we were hiding in the bathroom. And then he ends up calling me. He was like, I love you, and convinced me to
So
go
you
back
went back.
with him. Yeah.
Melissa claims she's caught in a cycle of threat and reward. Then, in March 1998, she gets friendly with the neighbors, the Green family, really friendly.
Another one?
There's Dad John and sons John Jr. and Kevin. But it's teenager Kevin Melissa gets closest to. Kevin's 18 or 19, and your relationship became intimate.
It did. It did.
Why?
Why? Well,
Was he that irresistible, or were you looking for more trouble in your life?
He was cute. He was a nice guy.
You're a young adult with a lot of experience under your belt, and here you are having an affair with basically a teenager. What were you thinking?
I wasn't.
Just having fun?
I was,
Just having fun,
Yeah.
okay. But I'm assuming it was still a secret relationship.
Yeah, because if I would have told Mike, Mike probably would have killed him.
If you had told Mike, Mike
If
might
Mike knew
have
about
killed
it, he
him.
probably would have killed him. Yeah.
Melissa paints her partner as a violent man who routinely threatens her. But soon, Melissa claims he also threatens her kids.
And that's when he proceeded to tell me that he had paid someone to kill each of them.
After dating for 7 months, Melissa Vanover gives up her house and her children to move in with boyfriend Michael Neman. But according to Melissa, that's still not enough.
Well, I guess you just have to go then.
I was crying because I wanted to see my kids, and he didn't want me to see the kids. And he told me that I would never have to worry about them again because they're going to be dead. That's exactly what. And I say, what do you mean? And that's when he proceeded to tell me that he had paid someone $1,000 to kill each of them.
That's pretty serious.
Yeah,
He
so-
threatened to
Yeah.
kill your children.
Yeah.
And that he was paying someone to do it.
Yeah.
What did you think of that?
I couldn't believe it. And I even said, how could you sit there and say that you love me and you're going to try to kill my kids?
Were
I
you
said, "What would you do
frightened? I mean, this was a
We were fighting
violent
at this
man.
point. Yeah, we were fighting at this point. I was crying. He didn't like me to cry. He couldn't stand when I cried.
Did you believe him?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely.
So, why didn't you go to the police?
I was very paranoid to talk to anybody. I
You
don't
didn't
know.
trust
And
the
Mike
police?
Had always, I really didn't. And with Mike, he's always told me that he's had, you know, law enforcement on his payroll. So I didn't know if I did call someone, I might have been calling his friend.
In fact, police were investigating Michael Neman's drug dealing at the time. Had Melissa gone to the authorities, she might not be in prison today. But she didn't. Instead, the night she claims she was told her children were to be murdered, on June 14th, 1998, she shot her boyfriend with a .357 Magnum.
So we argue, and I was like, well, what if someone did this to your child? And there was a fight, and then that's when he elbowed me in my nose.
Get out of here.
He kicked me off the bed, and I'm sitting at the end of the bed at this point, and he throws me the box of tissues, and I'm sitting there, and I'm patting my nose. There was the headboard. He was reaching for his gun
How do you know that?
because that's the only thing that was in there was the gun.
So he reaches for the gun, and what did you do?
And then I reached for the one under the bed, the same one that my son had grabbed previously.
And then what?
Immediately, it went off. It was
Guns
pretty
don't
fast
go
gun.
off.
Well, of course, I pulled the trigger. He was shot in the arm first, and then they're saying that one was right. It was right here.
You shot him twice while he was turned around. You believed he was going for the gun.
Oh, I know he was.
And that was when he got the third bullet in the chest. The shot.
Yeah, and that's what they say killed him.
Melissa's version does seem plausible. given her accounts of the violence in their relationship. But a jury believes a very different story. Forensic analysis of the gunshot wound reveals that Michael was shot from approximately 6 inches away. Prosecutors say Melissa shot him in cold blood while he was sleeping. In Melissa's version, she has just saved her own life, but she's not sure what to do. What did you immediately do afterwards?
I ran out of the house because I thought he was going to come after me.
Did it occur to you to call 911?
No, not at that point.
Why not?
I was scared. I didn't know what to do.
Melissa never calls 911. Instead, she calls her 18-year-old lover, and things get even more complicated.
And I put the gun to my head and pulled the trigger.
Melissa Vanover shoots her boyfriend, Michael Neman, in his own bed. She says she feared for her life. The prosecution says she murdered in cold blood. Either way, right after the shooting, Melissa does something drastic.
I had the gun in my hand still, and everything was just, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. He's gonna kill me. I thought he was still living. I didn't know that he was dead, really, I didn't. And I put the gun to my head and pulled the trigger, and it was empty.
Melissa phones her 18-year-old lover, confessing she just shot Michael. 3 members of the Green family and a friend come running. You're a mess. You're, crying. Try to kill yourself. Your neighbor friends have come over. Then what happened? Did anyone call 911?
No one called 911.
Why?
John Sr. went into the house first, and then the 2 boys went in.
You tell me
sons.
why no one called 911.
Well, I don't know why they didn't call. I didn't call because I don't know.
If you shot someone in self-defense that is reaching for a gun to kill you, you should be on pretty solid ground. But you didn't feel that you were?
Well, if you're in a relationship with him, then it's kind of like you're trained not to call the authorities. It's rammed into your head all the time.
It's possible Melissa might rationalize not trusting the police. But the others are another matter. Kevin, John Sr., and John Jr., they should have called the police. Instead, they robbed the victim. John Sr. dumps the guns in a nearby pond. Melissa and Kevin stay at a motel for the night. His brother and his brother's girlfriend head home. Everyone plans to keep the secret, but some bad driving throws a wrench in their plan.
We got pulled over.
For what?
A minor traffic violation.
And what happened when the cop?
They pulled us over, and they ran everybody's name through, and John Jr. apparently had a warrant on him. So when he got in the back of the cop car, he was like, well, I know where there's a dead body. I'll take you to it.
John Green Jr. is the first to spill. The others follow quickly, telling police they had nothing to do with the murder. At trial, 3 Green family members testify against Melissa. Each receives a 1-year sentence for burglary. Prosecutors argued Melissa killed for the money. In 1999, she's convicted of aggravated murder. Some people say this murder was all about money. What do you say to those people?
It wasn't. I was well off. I had my own money before I met Mike. I did a lot for my family. I could provide for my family.
You didn't need Michael's money is what you're saying. Money had nothing to do with why you killed him.
Right.
How do you feel now? You're in prison because you murdered Michael. How do you feel about that now?
I mean, I'm very remorseful, you know, and I've learned a lot from that.
What have you learned?
Well, I would not put myself in that position again. I know all the signs of a dysfunctional, unhealthy relationship.
I've seen this so often in abused women. They get caught in the vicious cycle of abuse and can see no way out. Melissa realized this too late, but she has advice to share with others.
I'm getting a little emotional, sorry. If you see signs of any kind of abuse, and it normally starts with emotional and mental abuse, and then comes the physical. So if you see that, then that's when you need to get out. Because if it starts with that, it's not gonna end. It'll continue to be the physical abuse. And it's not worth it because you will end up here.
I think Melissa is a battered woman, not a cold-blooded killer.
Thank you so much.
She definitely made a bad decision by not calling 911, and she has to live with that. She gave up everything for Michael, her livelihood, her home, and her children. Now she has nothing but a life behind bars. This is a tragedy for everyone.